Have you ever wondered what makes some women truly unforgettable? Why do certain figures, like Princess Diana, remain etched in our collective memory even years after they're gone? Perhaps it's something in their gaze, the way they move, through the world, or the energy they radiate when they enter a room. You're here because you crave something deeper than mere superficial tricks. You seek a transformation that begins from within. This is no longer a seduction guide. It's a journey of self-discovery, a pilgrimage into the truest corners of your being. Princess Diana, known to many as the People's Princess, didn't win the world over with her crown, but with her authenticity. Behind the camera-ready smiles was a real woman with fears and dreams, vulnerabilities, and immense strength. A woman who, despite the extraordinary circumstances of her life, stayed connected to her essence. When Diana entered a room, time seemed to slow. It wasn't just her physical beauty that held attention, it was something more ethereal, more profound. It was her presence. A presence forged not by rehearsed techniques, but by an inner journey that acquainted her with every shadow and every light in her own heart. That's what we'll explore today. How, in just 7 minutes a day, you can begin an inner metamorphosis that will make you not only unforgettable to one man, but a magnetic presence wherever you go. There's a subtle but crucial difference between wanting to be desired and being genuinely unforgettable. Desire can be fleeting, a spark that fades. But to be unforgettable, that requires leaving an imprint on someone's soul, weaving your essence into their deepest memories. Diana understood this difference. She knew that beyond the stunning gowns and glittering jewels, what truly made her unforgettable was her ability to be fully present, to connect genuinely with whoever stood before her. How many times have you been physically present, but mentally elsewhere? How many conversations have you had while your mind drifted to completely different places? Others perceive that disconnect, even if only unconsciously. It's an invisible barrier that prevents deeper bonds from forming. The 7-minute practice begins right here, with presence. Before you even think about being unforgettable to someone else, learn to be fully present in your own life. Dedicate 7 minutes each day to a mindfulness exercise. Observe your thoughts without judgment, reconnect with your bodily sensations, simply breathe and exist. This is the first secret to becoming unforgettable. Before you conquer the outside world, conquer your inner world, because the woman who fully inhabits her own being radiates a light that cannot be ignored. Diana knew that the deepest relationships start with the one we have with ourselves. On her journey, she faced inner demons, battled eating disorders, endured loneliness under constant public scrutiny. Yet, it was precisely that inner journey that made her so magnetic, so authentic in the eyes of the world. When you embrace your vulnerabilities with compassion, you free yourself from the constant need for external approval. That freedom is deeply attractive because few people truly possess it. Reflect for a moment. How many of your actions are driven by a desire to please others? How many of your choices are based on what you think they expect of you? These unconscious patterns drain your energy and dim your natural light. Authentic self-esteem isn't built on external praise or material achievements. It springs from deep self-knowledge, from recognizing your intrinsic worth, independent of outside validation. Even at her lowest moments, Diana carried a dignity, born of that internal understanding of her own value. In the next 7 minutes of your daily practice, after centering yourself in presence, focus on recognizing your own worth, not as an exercise in ego, but as an honest acknowledgement of your complete humanity with its lights and shadows. You, like Diana, carry stories within you. Tales of triumphs and defeats, of love and loss, of strength and vulnerability. Those very stories shape your uniqueness and make you absolutely irreplaceable in this vast universe. And it's that uniqueness that makes you unforgettable. Think of the people who have left a deep mark on your life. They weren't always the ones trying hardest to impress, but those who showed up genuinely, shared their truth unguarded, and were authentically present. Diana had that rare quality. Even as a princess, she never hid behind royal protocol when it came to connecting with people. She touched AIDS patients when many were afraid even to be near them. She sat on the floor to meet children at eye level. She wept publicly when her emotions overcame her. That authenticity built an invisible bridge between her and ordinary people, allowing millions worldwide to feel a personal connection with someone whose life seemed worlds apart from their own. You can build those invisible bridges too, not through rehearsed seduction techniques, but by having the courage to reveal your true self. Because, paradoxically, when we show our vulnerability, we become strongest in the eyes of others. At this point in our journey together, I want to pause and thank you for being here and dedicating your precious time to growth. If these words resonate in your heart, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so we can continue this journey together, supporting each other with each new dawn of self-discovery. Your support helps this message reach more women who, like you, seek a deeper connection with themselves and the world around them. Now, let's return to our exploration. The third secret to becoming truly unforgettable lies in understanding and setting healthy boundaries. Diana, despite her immense charisma and generosity, learned sometimes the hard way about the importance of personal limits. Boundaries aren't walls that isolate us from the world. They're sacred markers that protect our essence. They're acts of self-love that tell others how we wish to be treated. When we set clear boundaries, we not only shield ourselves from unbalanced relationships, but also earn greater respect and, as a result, become more magnetic. A woman who knows and communicates her boundaries exudes a particular kind of confidence. Not the loud, attention-seeking confidence, but a calm assurance that shows up in her posture, her gaze, how she moves through the world. During your 7 youth minutes each day, reflect on your boundaries. Are there areas of your life where you allow others to overstep your personal limits? Are there relationships where you feel drained instead of nurtured? Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward changing them. At a critical juncture in her life, Diana made courageous choices to protect her integrity and inner peace. Even under intense public scrutiny, she chose her well-being and truth over outside expectations. And it was that authenticity that imprinted her so indelibly on the collective memory. You don't have to be a princess to wield the same power. You only need to recognize your intrinsic worth and honor it through conscious choices. The fourth aspect of our 7-minute journey leads us into often unexplored territory. Our emotional defense mechanisms. We all develop strategies to shield ourselves from pain. Some of these coping methods were vital for our emotional survival at certain times, but they can become obstacles to genuine intimacy if we don't consciously address them. Diana, with all her emotional openness, also had defense mechanisms. Under great pressure, she might withdraw, seek isolation, or even use her charm to control her public image. Acknowledging these patterns was an essential part of her self-discovery. During your daily 7 minutes, ask yourself, what are my emotional defenses? Do I shut down when feeling vulnerable? Use humor to deflect deep conversations? Become the caretaker to avoid being cared for? Bringing these patterns into awareness gradually strips them of their unconscious hold on us. A woman who understands her own defenses and consciously works to transcend them when appropriate becomes capable of much deeper connections. And those connections are what make us truly unforgettable. The fifth element of our practice brings us to the realm of attachment. How we bond with others, our attachment styles, shapes our adult relationships and often stems from our earliest years. Diana, whose childhood was marked by her parents' divorce and shifting family dynamics, carried her own attachment wounds. Her search for genuine connection and the longing to be truly seen reflected patterns formed long before she entered the public eye. Understanding your attachment style is a crucial step toward healthier, deeper relationships. Do you cling out, a fear of abandonment, or keep an emotional distance to avoid intimacy? Recognizing these tendencies isn't about self-blame, but about self-compassion and growth. During your 7 minutes, contemplate your attachment patterns. Notice how you relate to those closest to you. Do certain fears repeat themselves? Cultivating this awareness paves the way for choices aligned with who you truly are and who you wish to become. A woman who comprehends her attachment style and actively fosters secure, nourishing bonds emits a presence that's naturally alluring. Not through studied strategies, but through the authenticity that emerges when we free ourselves from unconscious patterns. 7. Pillars for deep self-knowledge. 1. Mindful presence. Begin by cultivating the ability to be fully present in each moment. When you practice mindful presence, your energy shifts subtly. People sense when you're genuinely there, listening not only with your ears, but with your whole being. Diana possessed that gift, the power to make each person feel like the only one in the room. In your 7 minutes, simply observe your sensations and thoughts without judgment. This deceptively simple practice can transform your energy. 2. Authentic vulnerability. In a world that prizes polished facades, the bravery to show vulnerability is revolutionary. Diana won the world's heart not for her perfection, but for her visible humanity and willingness to share her struggles. Authentic vulnerability isn't about indiscriminate oversharing, but about letting yourself be seen with discernment and self-compassion. In your daily practice, reflect on where you hide behind masks of perfection. How might you release those impossible expectations and embrace your full humanity? 3. Refined intuition. Beyond logic resides a subtler yet powerful form of knowing: intuition. Diana often followed her instincts, even when they defied protocol. A woman in tune with her inner wisdom radiates a quiet confidence. During your practice, silence external noise and listen to that inner voice. It's always there, whispering truths your conscious mind may not yet be ready to articulate. 4. Radical compassion. Compassion for others is admirable, but self-compassion is transformative. Diana's humanitarian work sprang from her genuine empathy, not performance. Yet the most revolutionary compassion begins within. Treat your own wounds with the same tenderness you would offer a child or loved one. In your 7 minutes, direct radical compassion toward the parts of yourself you judge harshly. 5. Authentic expression. Your voice is unique, your perspective irreplaceable. When you speak from your truest center, free of people-pleasing filters, you unleash a naturally magnetic force. Diana found her authentic voice over time, evolving from a shy young woman to a passionate advocate. In your practice, consider where you silence your truth. Imagine expressing yourself without self-imposed restraints. Key: emotional independence. Loving deeply differs from depending emotionally. Emotional independence isn't cold detachment, but the ability to remain centered in yourself, even in intense relationships. Diana gradually cultivated this independence, growing stronger in her individuality while maintaining deep connections. In your 7 minutes, explore how you balance vulnerability with self-reliance. How might you stay true to your worth while opening fully to others? 7. Aligned purpose. When you live in harmony with your deepest values, you radiate a distinctive attraction. Diana found purpose in humanitarian causes and motherhood, using her platform for those without a voice. That alignment made her luminous, not by effort, but as a natural outcome of a meaningful life. In the final minute of your practice, connect with your higher purpose. What makes your heart sing? What unique contribution are you here to offer? Integrate these 7 pillars into your daily 7-minute practice, and a profound transformation unfolds, not abrupt or superficial, but a gradual metamorphosis from within. That inner change reflects in your outer presence, making you not just memorable, but truly unforgettable. Diana wasn't perfect, and that's central to her lesson. Her vulnerability and shared imperfections brought her closer to ordinary people, forging connections that transcended social, geographic, and cultural barriers. Likewise, your journey to become unforgettable isn't about achieving an unattainable ideal. It's about embracing your full humanity with compassion and authenticity, letting your natural light shine unimpeded. As you commit to these 7 minutes each day, remember, profound transformation happens not by becoming someone else, but by allowing yourself to be more fully who you already are. Princess Diana lives on in our collective memory, not just for her status or beauty, but for the mark she left on hearts through her authenticity and humanity. You, with your inimitable singularity, have that same potential to make an impact. Never underestimate the power of small daily practices. Like water droplets carving stone over time, these 7 minutes can sculpt a new way of being. a more authentic, magnetic presence that emerges naturally from within, know that this journey isn't linear. There will be days of crystal clear insight and days of dense fog, days when you feel perfectly aligned with your essence, and days when old insecurities resurface. This isn't failure. It's part of the process. The key is self-compassion and a renewed commitment each dawn. Diana, for all her light, also endured deep darkness, moments of doubt, pain, existential questioning. Yet her willingness to face those shadows rather than deny them forged her unforgettable authenticity. You don't become unforgettable by being perfect, but by being real, by living your truth courageously, showing yourself not as you wish to be seen, but as you truly are, with all the complexities, contradictions, and nuances of authentic human life. As we conclude this journey, imagine yourself 1 year from now, 365 days into this 7-minute practice. Visualize inhabiting your body, mind, and heart with greater presence, authenticity, and compassion. How would you move through the world from that place of inner truth? How would you relate, not from a need for external validation, but from a deep sense of your own intrinsic worth? This is the real magic of 7 minutes. Not an instant overhaul, but a silent revolution of every mindful breath, every moment of self-awareness, every act of self-compassion. And one day, you'll realize you've become unforgettable, not because you mastered external attraction tricks, but because you let your inner light shine unrestrained. You'll see that people are drawn not to what you do, but to who you are, by the quality of presence emanating from a soul fully at home in its own truth. Diana taught us that true royalty comes not from titles or crowns, but from nobility, of spirit, and the power to touch lives with authenticity and compassion. That royalty is accessible to all of us, regardless of external circumstances or social status. When you dedicate these 7 minutes daily to your inner work, you're crowning yourself, declaring your intrinsic worth, your right to exist fully, to occupy space, to shine unapologetically. And just as Diana left an indelible mark not for her perfection, but for her visible humanity, you too will touch lives in ways you may never fully witness. Because a woman who lives her truth boldly inspires others to do the same. A woman who embraces her complexity with compassion creates space for others to do likewise. A woman who lives from her truest center becomes not only unforgettable to one person, but a transformative presence in the world. So, as you end this journey, carry with you not just the 7-minute practice, but this reminder: you are already extraordinary just as you are. Your journey isn't about becoming someone else, but about removing the barriers that keep you from fully expressing who you've always been. As Diana showed the world, there's unmatched power in authentic vulnerability, irresistible beauty in courageously lived truth, and a magnetic light that shines when we allow ourselves to be seen in our complete humanity. And it is that light, your unique, irrepeatable light, that will make you truly unforgettable. Not because you followed external rules or studied techniques, but because you had the courage to undertake the most challenging and rewarding journey of all, the journey back to your truest essence. Now, take a deep breath. Feel the potential of these 7 daily minutes. And remember, every transformative journey begins with a single conscious step. Your step begins now, in this moment, with the intention you've set. You are ready. You always have been. The princess within you awaits recognition, honor, and release to shine in her full, authentic splendor. And that recognition is the true secret of the 7 minutes, the gateway to becoming not just memorable, but genuinely present, authentic, and free.